Hello dear students, I am Samir Velankar. I welcome all of you to this video based on the topic dependency preserving decomposition. Just in the previous video, we saw what do you mean by lossless decomposition. We have a large table R and we are decomposing, splitting the table into R1 and R2. Then when is this type of split, that is decomposition, called as lossless, we saw. Now the another thing we should observe while we decompose a table is whether this decomposition is dependency preserving or not. Let's see what I mean by this. Let us say that I am having a table R containing three attributes A, B, C, and there are some functional dependencies defined on this table. Obviously, every table will have some dependencies defined. For example, the dependencies are A determines B, then A determines C, and B determines C. These are the dependencies defined. Now imagine that we decide that this table R is going to be divided, that is decomposed into R1, which will contain AB, and it will be decomposed into R2, which will contain B comma C. So two tables have been created from a single table. This is decomposition. Now let's first of all see, is this decomposition lossless? Although I know we are learning the topic dependency preserving, but let's go back to the earlier topic. Is this decomposition lossless? First thing is, these two tables are having common attribute B, okay, and this common attribute B should be candidate key in at least one of the tables. Now you watch that for R2, there are two attributes B and C, and from the original dependencies given on the original table, we know that B determines C. That means B closure is going to contain B, of course, and C, because B determines C. Now you watch, B can determine all the attributes of R2. So B is the candidate key and B is the common attribute. The common attribute must be candidate key in at least one of the tables, isn't it? Hence, this particular decomposition is lossless. I hope you have understood that. But the second thing, we have to check, is this decomposition dependency preserving? What I mean by dependency preserving, if R1 is containing AB and R2 is containing BC, then are all the dependencies which are defined on the original table, are they preserved by R1 and R2 together? Now you watch, if you see R1 table, just watch the R1 table. From the original dependency, we see that A determines B. Okay. Now from the original table, we see that A determines C. But hello, we can't include A determines C under R1 because attribute C is missing in R1. You watch, R1 is not having attribute C. So how can you define A determines C for R1? And the third dependency you observe is B determines C from the original table. But even B determines C cannot be written under R1. Why it cannot be written? Because C is missing in R1 table. So R1 is agreeing on the functional dependency A determines B from the original dependency set. Let us call this dependency set as F1. This is set of dependencies which R1 agrees. Similarly, some dependencies R2 will agree. As you see from the original dependencies, you see B determines C is already there in the original dependency set. So B determines C is there, isn't it so? But what about A determines C? Watch this. What about A determines C? Is it to be taken in this A determines C here? No, we can't take this dependency over here because A is missing in R2. I hope you are understanding, isn't it? Or can we take A determines B here under R2? No, we can't because A is missing in R2. So the only dependency that R2 agrees on is B determines C. Let's call this set as F2. Okay, but you will then see, you will say, sir, original table had three dependencies, isn't it? See these dependencies again. Original table had three dependencies. And now R1 and R2 combined, F1, F2 combined, if you find union of F1 and F2, we will get only two dependencies. A determines B and B determines C. What about A determines C? This is still missing. But hello, now starts the fun part. You see, F1 and F2 are the two dependency sets defined on R1 and R2. Now, if you can somehow derive more dependencies from F1 and F2, if you take union of these two, F1 union F2, and you can find some more dependencies from this, we call it as closure of F1 union F2. That means some more dependencies we can find. Let's find out. Look, we are having A determines B in F1 and we are having B determines C in F2. Now, if you combine this set, this is transitive property. If A determines B and B determines C, then A determines C. Come on, isn't it? This has to be true. That means the missing dependency, A determines C, this one I am marking again, yes, is obeyed by R1 and R2 together. Then all the three dependencies, A determines B, A determines C, B determines C, are agreed by R1 and R2. So this decomposition is dependency preserving. Now, all this shabby explanation was necessary so that you will understand what's written in black over here. What do you mean by dependency preserving? Just check this. Whenever table R is split into two tables, R1 and R2, we must check whether all the functional dependencies which were defined on the table R, original table, are still preserved or satisfied by R1 and R2 taken together. If R1 and R2 together have all the FDs which were originally defined on R, then such a decomposition is called FD preserving. Just as an example, you watch this. Just as an example, suppose R is a table having A, B, C, D, four attributes, and it is decomposed into R1 which has A, B, and R2 which has A, C, D. First of all, they are having common attribute A. And imagine that A is the candidate key in R1. Then this is lossless. We are not talking about lossless here anyway. We are talking about dependency preserving. Now coming to the fact that let F, check the next line, let F be the set of all the functional dependencies defined on the original table R, and let F plus be the set of all FDs that can be derived from F. F plus is the closure of F. That means you can say that more dependencies are derived from this F set F. Imagine F1 and F2 are the set of functional dependencies satisfied by R1 and satisfied by R2. Now notice that F1 will be definitely subset of F and F2 will be subset of F, because some of the dependencies which are there in this set may not be satisfied by F1. For example, if there is a dependency A determines C, then A determines C cannot be accepted by R1 because C is missing in R1, isn't it? But it might be accepted by R2 because A determines C can be a functional dependency in R2. So if F1 and F2 are the two sets which are FD satisfied by R1 and R2, and if F1 union F2 is F plus, suppose, if we can derive the original functional dependencies, all functional dependencies which were in the original table from F1 and F2, then we said a decomposition of R into R1 and R2 is FD preserving. In other words, whatever FDs we had on the original table R must be preserved by tables R1 and R2. Now, most important note here, you will like this, that whenever you decompose the table, the decomposition must be lossless, you see. But decomposition may or may not be FD preserving. That means suppose you have divided R into R1 and R2. Now, this decomposition must be lossless. But suppose all the FDs defined on R are not preserved by R1 and R2. It is not FD preserving, still it is acceptable. Okay, we can say this decomposition is fine. That means preserving the FDs is not a compulsion when you decompose the tables. but lossless decomposition is must. I hope you have understood what do you mean by FD preserving. Don't worry, you got 4 or 5 chances to know more about this, because we are going to take examples from our next video, examples of decomposition. Some example will be given that how the table is decomposed, and we have to check whether it is lossless and FD preserving or both. Thank you very much.